That thing went live without me. What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Let me send out this tweet that I'm live. Anyway, people out here being goofy. About to post this. Post this link. Need to go mute. Tate. We're talking about Tate today. And Tate's out here talking about he ain't seen Star Wars. That man is Star Wars, boy. Woo! Let me try this again. What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. Yeah, I don't want to learn more. What the heck is this thing? It's like, go away. Oh, I got this stupid little pop-up inside my screen here. It won't go away. Can't make it go away. All right. We talking about hijab, Niqaab, Tate, and Islam. Coffee. My coffee. So when it comes down to Islam, of course, y'all know I'm Muslim. Got love for Islam. And I think everybody should be Muslim. That's just my humble opinion. Let me just start off with that. I have a proclivity towards Islam. Okay? Let's just be clear here. Next, I made a statement, and it's not the first time I made this statement, actually. This is the first time it's actually popped up as something controversial over on Twitter. Let me get this live chat up, make sure I don't miss anybody or anything. Where is the live chat? Okay, something's going on here. I don't know, man. Everything's like all wonky today all of a sudden. I don't know what the heck happened with my, there we go. With my YouTube, I don't know what the heck happened to it. I started like another channel for my drone footage. There it is. Okay, everything's working. And somehow everything went wonky. So going back to what I was talking about in the purpose of this entire video. Now, I made a post saying that non-Muslim guys don't hate hijab and niqab and burqa and all this stuff because, you know, of religious or ideological reasons. I say that they dislike it. Oh, nice. What's up, GK? Man, we got to talk about the Caribbean, man. We've been chatting up on WhatsApp, man. I've just been so busy, man. And I'm chatting on this thing right here, man. This is what I'm talking to you on. So it's just been kind of wonky and complicated because it's hard to carry this thing around and talk at the same time. Anywho, moving on. And that it's not an ideological thing. It's a biological one. And let me explain. We have to look at the reproductive strategy of men, which is sexual opportunism. Strike as often as possible with as many women as possible. That is the male reproductive strategy. Now, that means polygynous, right? Men are polygynous in general. If a man can get his hand on a woman, he's gonna do it. You know, if he can get in her pants, if he can get in her later hosing, he's gonna smash. Now, one thing that we've noticed is the negative effects on the natural reaction and the natural behavior of men when they start watching pornography, right? Somehow his actions reduce as opposed to, you know, going out and actually trying to be on the hunt, as they call it, for a woman. He'll actually just sit at home and fap the porn all day. He'll, you know, spank the monkey. And so this is one of the reasons why they say that, you know, guys should stop watching, you know, no fap months, and you should just have a no-fap life. But you know, part of the reason why guys are always in the red pill and the manosphere are saying like stop fapping. You know, it just messes up your entire masculine frame in general. Which leads us to another conclusion that men are very visual. We know this. Ladies know this. Nobody's in denial about this. This is why women have mini skirts and high heel shoes and makeup, fake up, and all these other things to make them look better because they understand on a biological level that men are attracted to looks. They know this. Which brings us to the next point. When you deny a man visual access to a woman, does that not frustrate him? It's a type of sexual restriction, which is the point in Islam. That is the point in Islam. Islam acknowledges the nature of both men and women. This is why we find restrictions on male sexual strategies in an unchecked form, and this is why we find checks on the female strategy, hypergamy, in its unchecked form. There are points for men and women that are, of course, a bonus in that, like with men. Our sexual strategy is recognized in Islam because we're allowed multiple wives. That men want to go out and hit it and quit it is understood. It's restricted in that we have responsibility for those women. You can't just hit it and quit it. You got to get married. You got to take care of them. You know, you got to finance it all, man. You can't just, hit and run. And women, they're limited because there's no reward system for divorcing a man in Islam. It's just not there. You can't make a guy pay for, past usage of hoo-ha in the future. There's no alimony like that. It just doesn't work like that. So, yeah, indeed, but there's even restrictions on that in terms of the Islamic State, if you're living in an Islamic state or not, whatnot. I think there's only one country in the world. I'm talking about what Kijbar W said. He says, in addition, we're allowed slaves. Yeah, that is correct. And people don't like to hear these things. Some people are like, oh my gosh, Islam allows slaves and this, that, the other. But it does have its limitations in terms of you have to be in an Islamic state. Again, slaves, it's more like an indentured servant. It's not really like we know it in the West, like black African American slavery, how we were treated. It's not like that at all. You can't go around beating people, strapping them with poles, and just torturing them, being just a general douchebag. You just can't do that in Islam. But you do have sexual access to these women. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Fahad, what's good, man? So, anyway, coming back to the point. These guys are frustrated because all of a sudden there is a restriction on visual access to women. And let's be real. Let's be real. Muslim women in general are, in the West, exotic women. They're olive and brown skinned women with black hair. They've got voluptuous curves. A lot of things that women in the West just don't have. You do have women in the West that have that, but they are a different build. It is sexual variety. And with sexual variety comes what? Sexual novelty. And this is something that men have a propensity towards. You can deny it all you want, but that's the reality of men. And so when this is denied, it leads to a type of frustration. And that frustration is expressed in what? Anger. Oh, those Muslims. And you know what makes it clear that it's BS? You want to know why it's crystal clear it's BS? Because you never hear these guys complaining about women taking more clothes off. You ever heard a guy say, oh, these women are walking around with these mini skirts and their string tops? You never hear about that. They don't ever complain about female clothing until it starts multiplying. And when women start putting on more clothing, then they start complaining. Oh, I hate the winter, man. You can't see nothing. Right? Tell me I'm wrong. Only Muslims say that. So this isn't a matter of ideology. This isn't a matter of biology. And I will argue to the death anyone who says otherwise. It's BS if you saying that it's like one guy. He was on my my Twitter, and he said, what did he say? Hijab is the representation, I think he called it, of Islam. 1 second, I can look at it here. Let me look at this tweet. is this guy? Holy smokes. All these notifications. Jeez. I done triggered a whole bunch of people with this post, man. I don't know what the hell's going on. Where is this guy's post? And it's always these guys with these freaking stack. Hijab presents Islam. Now this guy, he's another one of these Twitter anons with like a statue head. You know, thinks he's freaking Machiavelli or something. Let me ask you, anybody, and like I said, I'll argue with anybody on this. Do not Christian nuns wear the, what do they call it? I believe it's called the habit. You know, it's basically a hijab, isn't it? Isn't this what nuns wear? They wear a habit. If we look at Orthodox Jewish women, what do? They cover their head. I bet you it's not called a habit, but they cover their heads. If we look at almost any, even if we look at like Hindu women, they always got, it's okay, it's a little bit loose fitting, but those really practicing ones wear those big things. You can walk out on the streets here in Germany, you can see these old, decrepit women, they cover their head. Because back in the days in Germany, it wasn't appropriate for a woman to leave the house without her head covered. So those old women are still doing it. Hijab is not representative of Islam. This is something that's been widespread and practiced for quite some time around the world. But because Muslims are the only ones who haven't been cooked yet, everybody's mad at us. And I'm sorry. We're not going to be cuckolded. Sorry. What the heck? What's going on here? I got the wrong video up. Oh, I lost my YouTube. Oh, there it is. Okay. And this is the reality of the situation. I think this kind of bothers them too. That we're guys who still, for the most part, still have a reign and a check on our women. And it's socialized. That is socialized through ideology of Islam. You know, when I say socialized, this is something when we talk in terms of like family upbringing. And, you know, we bring our women up, even our boys, we try, you know, the boys and the girls, to bring them up upon an Islamic ideology and identity. And that's always there. You can find some of the most non-practicing Muslim sisters like hanging on to like just the vestiges of Islam. I seen this girl, she's like a hot mess. I mean, a hot mess, was drinking, just doing everything. Dirt, this girl was in the dirt. But she was with this Kafir guy and was like, I will not sleep with this guy until he becomes Muslim. She was on every single freaking evil you could think of Islamically, but she would not sleep with that guy until he got married. There's always a vestige. There's always this last strand of Islam in all of them. It's just there, man. And it's not going to go away. Are our women subject to hypergamy and whatnot? Absolutely. But the reality is that's something that's always there. Staying on topic though. So, again, I challenge anybody to debate with me that this is a matter of ideology over biology. Because when I'm talking to these guys on Twitter, they have all these convoluted excuses as to why they hold it's everything but biology. And so when you look at it, you can see that this is a person who's still currently working through the concepts and ideas of why he is opposed to hijab, niqab, burqa, whatever else you want to call it, on women. You can just see it because their points are all over the place. 1 minute he's over here, next minute he's over there, next minute he's over there. He's not making any congruent point. He's not sticking at the topic. The dude's just all over the place. And I tell you guys all the time, and I'm not. It's not even self-depreciating, whatever. I'm not even talking bad on myself. I don't find myself to be an exceptionally intelligent person. So if I can sit here and hold like a steady conversation and see that you're all over the place, there's something seriously wrong with you, homie. You got problems. Anywho, gonna bring this into another topic. Tate done triggered freaking Twitter talking about he became Muslim yesterday. You guys gotta tell me what you think of this, man. I'm still kind of like, if you guys don't know who Tate Andrews is, or Andrew Tate, you know, and his brother, you know, if you guys don't know who he is, check him out on Twitter. He goes by the tag at of Wu Dan, and and the dude freaking vexed Twitter last. He said he was an atheist. He was quite staunch about this statement for quite some time, and I never believed it personally. I don't know his situation with Islam. I don't question a person's shahada. If a person says that they became Muslim, I accept it that they became Muslim. And there's a reason for this. There's a hadith about this actually, and I can't remember which battle it was, but there was like a Sahaba, one of the companions of Muhammad, peace be upon him, on the battlefield, and one of the non-Muslims that was in the battle with him, he had lost a sword fight and he was about to be killed, and he said he was a Muslim, and then the Muslim killed him. And then he went to Muhammad, peace be upon him. He said, yeah, there was this guy, on the battlefield, paraphrasing the hadith. He's like, and he accepted the shahada just to save his life, and I killed him anyway. And he was like, hey, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, paraphrasing, was like, hey, you were incorrect. You shouldn't have done that. That's not your position, your place. The guy accepted Islam, khalas, that's it. He's a Muslim now. So anyway, this is the stance I'm taking. The guy said he's a Muslim. He says he's a Muslim. Of course, you can question it and go into it and dig into it all you want, but whatever. It remains to be seen. What's going on. Nevertheless, he was pretty staunch about being an atheist. And hold up, Fahad's got a bunch of comments here, but let me finish this little rant here. And I don't know. I just find he's exceptionally intelligent. I find he's an intelligent guy. He's not like the book smart type of guy. He's like that real world smart, And that's not a degeneration. That's like a different type of smart that like really works, because it's a practical smart. It's like you can go into a situation and you can work through it, and you can work in or out of difficult situations. It's a real world thing. You got people who go to university. They get out of university and they're completely awkward in everything and anything they do. It's a different type of smart. A book smart is not the same as a practical smart. So anywho, I always felt he was kind of too smart to be considered an atheist. And then last night he pops on Twitter talking about he's a Muslim. And yeah, this is interesting. Let's see what I had to talk about here. It was Ali who spat. No, stop it. I mean the other way around. Never mind. Different hadith. You're good. Okay, he's talking about the hadith house. I can find the hadith. It just takes some time to dig it up. I'm not going to turn my back here and like type it up and look for it right now. But Tate becoming Muslim, man. But I mean, okay, it's a weird thing, and I don't know why we do it. But Muslims, we kind of like it when personalities become Muslim. We love it. We love Michael Jackson became a Muslim before he died, and it's like dudes will debate this to the death. Like if it's gonna make a difference to us tomorrow when we wake up and have to go, to work at 4 a.m, whenever you go to work or university or whatever you do. It's the weirdest thing, but it is quite interesting to watch. How this triggered the world, the Twitter world. At least the hadith you mentioned is correct. The Prophet was angry for the guy for killing the other one. Yes, yeah. I don't remember the exact hadith. I can find it, like I said, but my takeaway from that was like when a person becomes a Muslim, no matter what your internal feelings are, if you have doubts, whatever else, you just, okay, fine, khalas. He said he's Muslim. Khalas to you, those of you out there who don't know, that means like it's done, it's finished. Like this is a closed conversation, closed case. It has like a really wide meaning, like finished, it's enough, done. We don't need to discuss it anymore. And so that's exactly what I do. The guy said he's Muslim, and so I'm gonna accept at face value he's Muslim. If he's gonna be a sinful Muslim or if he's whatever, a murtad Muslim, that's his decision. But I find it quite problematic, the reaction of some of the Muslims. Instead of being like happy, because he said let's go into a different point here. Tate said that he became Muslim, and I don't know a lot about Tate, but when I'm looking at him online, when I'm watching this guy, he is not a guy that I can see from what's obvious and what's open from my perspective and my. He doesn't seem to be a liar. I don't see that he's a liar. You don't see that he's like one day he's saying this and you find out, this guy's full of crap. You don't find people, coming around in a roundabout way from his war room to whatever else, his interactions with people and people saying, the guy's full of crap. He's talking like this, but he's actually doing like that. You just don't find the guy to be a liar, so that he would maintain, because he's open about his character, who he is, where he makes his money, how he makes his money. Not always, but he, cam girls and whatnot. He talked about this, and the things that he does, be it good or bad, he's generally very open about it. And when you look, he's got the photos and the people and his brother there to witness it. It's just not really in his character that he's a liar type of guy. And he said this is a sincere and real acceptance of Islam. I'd like to accept that it's real. I'd like that. I don't know, but whatever. What I do know is that what's apparent, what's clear is that the guy's not a liar. So with that, I find the reaction of many Muslims to be quite odd. If the guy says he's gonna be a Muslim, why are people mad? Why y'all angry? Why y'all like, you're not real, you're this, you're that, you gotta stop. everybody became Muslim at one point. I'm still laughing because it does seem a bit incredulous of an idea. But if he did become Muslim and he's real, man, give him some dawah. Well, will you guys stop trying to crap on his lifestyle? I mean, what? You guys supposed to go from 100 miles a minute to 2? And why does he need to go to 2 miles a minute? He just needs to switch it up. Stay at 100 miles a minute, just on a different program if he actually did become Muslim. But give him dawah to that. Guys don't be like trying to make it all, you gotta wear a thawb now and a turban. Cats are just losing their mind. If the guy became Muslim, at least be happy. Like, hey man, welcome to the club. Welcome to Team Muslim. You know what I mean? That's what I put up on my Twitter. I put up on Twitter. I was like, hey man, his blood and his honor are inviolable, and this is the rights of a Muslim. We're really not supposed to be backbiting each other and making ghiba and nabima. Ghiba to anybody out there, ghiba is an Arabic name for like backbiting. Yeah, it's backbiting. Namima is name calling. We're not supposed to insult one another. So Fahad said Malcolm X and Omar were terrible people before they became Muslim. People change, man. Yeah, indeed. Dude, if you saw me before Islam, I was much better, man. I was a pretty bad dude. I wasn't a bad dude, but I was, I had my share of dirt, man. I wasn't out there just being like a saint or something, you know what I mean? But, kindly, gentlemen, whether you believe it or not, just take it at face value. Guy said he's Muslim, okay, he's Muslim, fine. He's team Muslim. Give him a high five, man. Say welcome to the team, man. And, yeah. I'm still a bit incredulous, man. Because it's just like, it's night and day flip. But then it's obvious homeboy has like a bunch of Muslim friends. He's talking about hanging out with some rich Muslims. I don't know, they're probably Arabs, because them Arabs always got that money. They got that oil money. And he's talking about how, like, I remember he's telling a story somewhere, Twitter probably, or YouTube, and he's talking about like how the Arab guy was talking about the women out in the West are trash, and he's gonna go back home, his home country, and get himself a nice village girl that's, a virgin and wears Niqaab. And I don't know if there was Niqaab, I threw that in there. Rolex says, Washi, yes, Washi Bihar, one of my favorite stories. The guy who killed Hamza, the uncle of the Prophet, eventually became Muslim. And the Prophet used to refuse to look him in the eye because of how dear Hamza was to the Prophet. Peace be upon him. Yes, Washi, get this. Washi Bihar, yes, this thank you, Rolex. This is a very good one, man. Washi Bihar, I'm very familiar with this story because I used to tell this story to kids at the masjid. I used to actually be the khatib. I used to be the imam at the masjid, believe it or not. And so I did this story time with kids one time. And my favorite hero was Washi. And Washi, he did kill the uncle of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He killed him with a spear. Because Washi was known to be very good with his spear, with throwing his spear. And he saw him on the battlefield, and he tossed the spear, killed him. He didn't even kill him instantly. He says, he turned on me, and he was coming towards me, and then, the pain and the spear and the strike, overtook him, and he died. Later on, Washi became Muslim. And he said, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, never looked at me. And when I gave him my salams, I never could hear whether or not he returned my salams or not. And he's like, it was a torture to me. Later on, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, died. And Washi actually fought in the battle against Musaylama al-Kadhab. And Washi actually killed, well, it's not confirmed, but he was one of the people who was attributed with killing Musaylama al-Kadhab. So he threw the spear, and he says, my spear struck him at the same time as the sword of, I can't remember who it was. It was one of the famous companions. Anyway, details. He said, my spear struck him at the same time that the sword struck him of this companion. And so Washi actually, yeah, if you're interested in that story, you can find it online. Washi was actually black. He was a black slave of the Arabs at the time, and the reason why he said that he actually fought against Muhammad, peace be upon him, is not because he disliked him, but because the pagan Arabs of Quraysh promised him his freedom if he fought on their side, and they fulfilled their promise. They set him free, and when he became free, he became a Muslim. Anyway, moving on. So. Anyway, coming back to it all, it was just a hilarious thread. If you go on Tate's, Twitter, you could see his messages he sent to his girls. He's like, you wearing hijab and niqab, you're not talking to other men. They're just like, what? Okay. It's just beautiful, man, when you got it like that with a girl, man. I don't know how many dudes guys, you got to, I mean, I understand he's got a lifestyle that's like not congruent with Islam, but you got to, man, get on his level with these women, man. You got to get on his level with these women. And if you don't have a woman like that, man, get rid of her. I know that's a real harsh statement, but dude, man, he's got some stuff he can teach you. This is how women should be, especially with Muslim men. If you say, look, don't do this or do that, and they're just like, okay. The dude actually's got pictures on his freaking Twitter with his women just like, okay, Tate, okay. If I tell Ling Ling right there to do something, what you gonna do? She, I don't know if you heard that, but she said she's gonna do it. I know she'll do it. That's what I'm saying. It's not because I know she's gonna say, I'm gonna say whatever he's gonna say. But actually, even if I said that, if I said say this or that, she's gonna say it. Teach you some stuff, man. Guys gotta learn, man. Guys gotta learn. Anywho, Rolex, he says, as long as he knows he isn't Muslim by simply stating these words, he now has to learn the practices and genuinely believe in them. He don't have to wear the thawb, etc. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Islam is speech and actions. It's not only, what's in the heart is reflected upon the limbs. Absolutely, we believe this. There's a difference of opinion in some parts, but not really a strong one. Like a person who is negligent in the salah, whether or not he's a disbeliever or not. Like the vast majority of the scholars hold that he is. Some hold that he isn't. Because they hold like the person who believes in Islam and doesn't act on it and believes they're sinful for not acting on it, then they are not a disbeliever. And then others hold that, well, it doesn't matter. You're not acting upon it. You're a disbeliever. So it depends on the opinion you follow. And Allahu Ta'ala Alam. And Allah knows best. This is not my specialty field. I tend to stay out of this stuff of Islam. Especially the conditions of tahara, cleanliness, conditions of prayer and shahada, etc. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I mean, I sincerely hope that he became Muslim. Because, I mean, I have no personal investment in that. Do I? I don't. Because I don't even know the guy. I met him, I ain't shook his hand, I ain't done business with him or everything. We talked about it, and he's taught me quite a bit of stuff, gave me some programs on how to make money and whatnot, He's even offered me help, So, I mean, there's a personal investment, but there isn't also, because it's not, he could die tomorrow, I could die tomorrow. It's not going to change anything. But, everybody I think Islam is the best thing that ever happened to me in my life, man. I don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing if I hadn't become Muslim. I mean, man, I don't know.
Me.
What's that?
You will not meet me.
I wouldn't have met you?
Yeah.
Really?
Islam.
Yeah? Well, maybe I don't want to met you. I'd have met one of your friends. Too many kids speaking without knowledge out here. Absolutely, man. This is another problem. And this is why, again, generally on Abuamerican, I avoid topics of Islam because it's not my specialty field. I mean, even though I used to be an imam and I studied for a while, not like in depth with a scholar or anything, but I've read like a lot of books on Islam and I had a lot of knowledge in general areas. It's too dangerous to be speaking about Islam without knowledge. It's just something that people do very easily and they do without a second thought. I expect this from like non-Muslims, I read the Quran. You see this all the time online. It's like, guys like maybe read, Surah Al-Fatiha on freaking Wikipedia or something, and now he's like read the Quran, or he's read some like a few verses here or there that some Islam hater posted, and now he thinks he's a specialist in, in the book of Allah. Yeah, but Anika, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I remember you Anika, you were here before, weren't you? MashaAllah, welcome back. Ahlan wa sahlan. So anyway, too many people, speaking without knowledge on Islam, both from the Muslims and the non-Muslims. This is, it's just, if you got Muslims who are going to avoid that and they're going to stay away from that, maybe you should think twice as, an ignorant person in general. Rolex says, straight up, I was born into a Muslim family. They taught me the ways at a young age. I didn't deviate, but I I was not aware of many things. We were not told how or why. Learning from YouTube made it clear as F. Yeah. There's a lot of good material on YouTube. There's also a lot of crazy material on YouTube. I tend to stick to certain speakers. We're not gonna get in. Well, we can get into it. A lot of guys don't like it. I consider myself to be in a eccentric way, very eccentric. A Salafi. I am a Salafi. I'm an eccentric one. But if you ask me about people of knowledge and the people of knowledge I take from only certain groups and certain people, and I avoid the rest because I'm sure about those guys. I'm sure about the knowledge they kick, and I'm sure that it's comes from a quote unquote purified source that they've taken the time to make sure there's no unauthentic or fabricated narrations, no crazy talk or whatnot. Yeah, so that's my stance. Anywho, going back to Tate, Niqaab, Hijab, all that stuff. None of them people from my Twitter showed up, unfortunately. All them guys that want to argue. I don't know where they at. I made this just for them. I'm like, I'm here for you. Let's debate this. Let's bring it on. I need to make it so I can start doing call-ins and stuff, man. I don't know if anybody call in, but I'm ready to throw down on this one. Anybody who dislikes hijab or niqab, they're doing it from a biological standpoint, and it shows in the way that they argue. It shows in the way they argue because there's no consistent point. It's never going to be. Rolex says agree, 100%. How it denies people sexual access so it frustrates them. Absolutely, man. And you see it in their points when they start arguing. Guys are getting they have zero investment in women wearing or not wearing hijab, niqab, whatever else. Why would they care? Because for every one woman that wears niqab, there's about 10,000 out there that aren't. Literally, I think my girl, she's the only one in for the next up until Frankfurt who wears it. I don't think anybody else wears it. Why are people getting upset? Because it's an odd man out. Hey, you can walk around here. Even if you want to say societally, it doesn't fit in. It just doesn't fit into the society that we live in. You can walk around here and find people tattooed from head to toe. There's a guy at my job. Like I said, everybody at my job are specialists. They're all engineers. They're all specialists in a specific field. And you got guys that are specialists, engineers, tattooed on top of their head and on their face. Is that normal? Ain't nobody getting upset about this guy. He's probably the only guy for the next 200 miles with tattoos on his face. Nobody says a word. But then you see a woman in niqab. Oh my God, everybody lose their dang mind. Well, it doesn't fit into society. Well, he's Mr. Tattoo Face, but he's good at his job. What do you care? Dudes, they want to see, excuse me, let me just be straight out vulgar. Dudes want to see some ass. This just be real. That's what it is. Dudes want to see pretty faces, big butts, boobs popping out, because the reality is you ain't never seen anybody complaining about a half-naked woman. I remember before I went to the Middle East, before I moved to Qatar, there was the World Cup. Yeah, they want us to be cooks like them. You're right, absolutely, Fahad. They want us to be cookable just like them, and it's not going to happen. But before I went to Qatar, there was the World Cup, and it was the one in Germany. This lady was walking around outside in just boots and a German flag painted on her body. That was it. Dude, she was birthday suit butt naked in some boots and a German flag painted on her. Wasn't a soul out there complaining about it. Everybody was like, yo, come out here and check this out. But when women put on more clothes, why is this a problem? And then we got another conversation here. Never surrender. Our women are our property, absolutely. And then we got another conversation going on here. What's this about the freedom of the West? I mean, guys talk about the freedom of the West and how free women are. Okay, women are free. So since when did you guys start involving yourself in what a woman does or doesn't wear? I mean, if we're going to be talking about we're in the free, pluralistic, secular West and everybody has their freedom, why do you care to dictate what women do or don't wear? I thought you guys were so free and so pro-woman. Oh, so now she chooses to wear more clothes and it's a problem? Guys are just freaking all over the place. And that tells you when they're from freaking the mountaintops of Kilimanjaro to the freaking Death Valley in their conversation points, you know they're full of crap. You know it. The secularists believe in complete freedom except in women's freedom. Absolutely. That's right. They want absolute freedom in terms of sexual access. Rollo Tomassi actually talked about this. Guys unfettered hypergamy with the idea and the thought, the concept that they would gain more sexual access to women. Let's set women free sexually, the sexual revolution, and then what's going to happen? We're going to have more access to women sexually. And what happened? Eh, the opposite happened. The 80-20 rule happened. So now you've got 80% of the women chasing 20% of the men. And those same guys that weren't getting any back then, they're not getting any now. Now they're even more frustrated. I'm not getting any. And now there's this woman over here, freaking covered from head to toe. Trigger. That's insane, man. Anonymous assassin. As such, they're hypocrites. They're allowed to tell their women to be naked, but ours aren't allowed to choose to not be an open butcher shop. Dude, it's a blatant and obvious contradiction that I don't see how they can't see. And this goes back to my point earlier when I was talking about I don't consider myself to be an exceptionally smart person. How can you not see this? And I consider myself to be quite level and IQ. How is it that I can figure this out and I can see this blatant, this clear contradiction, but these guys can't? I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Either that or I'm smarter than I thought I was. I'm gonna have to start like upgrading myself here, man. I'm gonna have to start like looking down on people and just like sit in my chair a little bit higher and just be like, you peons. Call them intellectual midgets. Fahid says there are two types of liberals, and they are issue: muscular liberals who hate hijab, and softer liberals who accept it. Really? Okay, I haven't seen this type of liberal. The muscular liberal. I don't know a single muscular liberal. My brother's a liberal, and he looks about as soft as a freaking warm marshmallow, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I love him to death. He's my brother, but I mean, it's just reality. You look like you touch him, you leave your fingerprint on him. You know, and he's not even a fat guy. He just looks like that skinny fat, like he's like I said, a warm marshmallow. You know, he just I don't know. Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, the liberator of Jerusalem, 12th century, said that if you want to destroy a nation without war, spread and make common adultery, nudity in the young generation. Absolutely. When we look at the collapse of the West, and the West is heading towards a collapse, you can't tell me that's not what's happening. I mean, really, one guy said it. It was a non-Muslim guy. He said, I think it was actually that guy, Kyle Trouble. He said, you know, the average Western woman, by the time she's 22, has had anal sex more times than she's actually cooked a full meal. It's just, everything is about, there's a word for this. Hold on. Give me a second. I use German so much I'm forgetting English. I'm at work and I use German all day, every day. It'll come to me. Anyway, just when society just turns into a straight, you know, hedonism. That's what it is. They're a hedonistic generation. All these generations, these young generations, are exceptionally hedonistic, and that's what the society is becoming. Everything is about sex. It's like British conservatives, for example, or militant atheists. Muscular say. Yeah, Rolex. Yeah, actually, that's I don't know if it's true or not. I don't think he had any real statistics to support that statement, but you can pretty much trust that you know, most of these guys out there running game, they know what they're talking about, you know, because they're in the fields and in the dirt doing it. So yeah, but Five, you make a good point about them wanting to cook Islam. They want to see Islam be as bad as their women are. They want to see our women fall, and it's not. I don't even think it's malicious. To be honest, I don't think it's malicious. You know what? I think it just has to do with it makes you feel better. This is bad because if you have this type of feeling, you should really search yourself inside. But if you fail at something or you suck at something, and then you feel good when you see everybody else suck at it too, there's something wrong with you internally. You know, there's something wrong inside that you should look at. And I think that's what we're seeing. They want to see us suck just like they do. They want to see us fail at the things that they're failing at. You know, this is why, you know, a lot of guys are like, you know, Islam is not, you know, going to be any different. There's a guy, I like him, don't get me wrong, and I'm not crapping on him. This guy, he's a German guy, MGTOW something, but he says Islam is no different. You know, when he's talking about hypergamy and women and women assimilating, religions. Rolo's on that too. Rolo says that, religions are assimilated by hypergamy and the female agenda. I disagree. When we look at Islam and the history of Islam and the Muslims, we've seen this before. The mini skirts. We've seen these in Afghanistan. We saw these in Somalia. We saw this in Syria, Lebanon, wherever else. And what do we see? It's like a cyclic type of behavior to where it's like there's a decline and like a type of degeneracy, and then it shoots back up to hyper-religionism. And it just goes back and forth and back and forth. It's going to happen again. It's just I think we're more attuned to it nowadays, so it's going to happen. The snapback, if you will, is going to be much more rapid this time than it was in the previous generations, because now we're looking real time at other societies and what's happening to them, and we're like, oh, hell no. And so what's going to happen is women are going to start regulating themselves. As long as brothers maintain high standards amongst themselves and for themselves, women are going to follow, because women want the attention of high-value men. This is part of the point of the red pill world, and we're going way off topic here of Tate and hijab and whatever else, kind of. But look, if you want women with hijab, niqab, burqa, with all this, whatever you want, you are going to have to be a high-quality man. Because what do women want? They want high-quality men. And if all the high-quality men are only marrying a certain type of woman, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to become a certain type of woman, because they want quality deference from quality men. So, as long as we stay on our thing and we just, we set our standards, we're not going to fall into the same traps as the West is. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen from a societal standpoint in terms of culture. Because the further east you go, the more the Muslims are just like, they completely write off women. You got entire societies, and I'm not okaying it and under no circumstances, but you got entire societies that'll just like freaking, what do they call it? Honor kill women over like goofy stuff. So it's just not going to really be a thing for Muslims in Islam in general. I sometimes wonder if it weren't for the Muslims, would the same happen to Europe, America, as what happened to the people of Lut and Thamud? Actually, that's not a safety, man. Anonymous assassin. That's not a safety net for us, because when we look at like the people of the elephant, who was it that was going to go attack the Kaaba with his elephant, and the birds stoned them? They say there were people, believers with them, that were selling to the army, traders selling food, trinkets, whatever else that they needed, and they were killed with them. And that the people will be judged individually, even though they were killed all together. There's no safety, for us in this. Rolex says they want to extinguish the light of Allah with their mouths, but Allah will protect His light, although the disbelievers dislike it. 61:8. Yes, this is the ayat from Allah. Haq, truth. The hate against hijab emanates from a scarcity mindset and sexually frustrated beta dudes in the West. Absolutely, Fahad, man. Absolutely. It is. It's a type of sexual frustration. I don't feel frustrated when I go outside and I can't see a woman. She's wearing like too much clothes or whatever else. I don't feel bad at all. Why? I can't scroll down my Twitter feed and not see some naked broad just because of the people I have on my Twitter feed. So why would I feel frustrated that I can't see that one when I can just go online and accidentally see 400 different women in all different states of undress? Really? Let me ask you, does a rich person feel bad about that $1 or that nickel or that quarter that he passes by on the street that he couldn't pick up because he was too slow and some kid got it? Does he feel bad about that? No, you're absolutely right. It's a scarcity mindset. Rich people aren't worried about taking $2 a day earnings from some poor guy who's polishing shoes. He's not thinking, how can I get that business? Oh my God. And he's not burning himself up over that. Nah, he's looking for ways to compete with Amazon or something, Our standards will drop when our thirst increases. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. You got to be able to outwit the game, man. That's why you have to build as a man your status and your quality, because they're going to come to you when you're high quality. How many women go to Hollywood looking to hope to hook up with a Hollywood star? And how many Hollywood stars, like Johnny Depp or something, are running around in the cornfields of Nebraska looking for Becky? It doesn't work like that. Make yourself high quality. They're going to come looking for you. And when they come looking for you, they're going to pay attention Who? What type of woman was he with before? And then they're gonna look at the line, the succession of women. This is why women, the new woman always wants to see your ex. Oh, do you have a picture of your ex? She wants to see what she looked like. She wants to see what you're working with in terms of competition. She wants to know, you know. So, yeah. Maximus, how do they treat women in Germany with niqab? Maybe you can elaborate if your wife's wear it because Europe slowly, surely banning it. Even here in Canada, banned. There's a great hostility towards the niqab in Europe in general. I think everybody knows that. The UK is probably the only island in more than one way, both literally and figuratively, in terms of like they just don't really seem to care a whole lot. Germany, they're kind of hostile towards niqab. It's technically banned in government offices, but no, I don't think there's a lot of enforcement in places except like Berlin, where niqab, and Bonn, where niqab is very widespread. But in general, there is a significant hostility towards it. Although you won't find that the people are like yelling at you on the street. Although yeah, actually she had someone yell at her on the street. Yeah, someone yelled at you on the street, right?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Like I know.
You don't know.
It's in German.
Oh yeah, that's right. She still don't speak German. Yeah, I think I told the story. I was in Saarbrücken, and there's some women sitting up with some guys, and they started talking about my wife like real loud, like loud talking, like, oh my God, look at that. And I just cussed him. I was like, yo, shut the fuck up. Nobody asked you. And dude kind of stood up like what's going on here? You can see he was nervous. I told him, I said, hey man, you need to check your girls, man. She's gonna get you in a lot of trouble right now. And the dude just like sort of turned around and sat down. I was like, I was ready to go up there and bust his head too. I ain't even playing. There's a type of hostility where people feel comfortable, talking about people who are in the niqab, but they're like freaking like pack animals, They only feel strong in a pack. You don't find the individual walking down the street acting like this. This is usually young people in large crowds. And then even then, it's like lions and hyenas. If you stand up to them, they're going to back down. Fahd says, do you ever think that Muslim men would ever have to compete with non-Muslim men for Muslim women? Fahd, I think you're in that group I'm in. Red Pill Muslim group. It's a Twitter group. And I posted a thing on there that like one guy, it's a group on PUA. It's a PUA group. And he was asking, how do you pick up Muslim women? There's a lot of guys who actually focus on trying to pick up Muslim women. Competition. We have to think about this. Is there competition? What we see, not a lot, but we do find that there are some women who are trying to do their alpha need beta seed behavior. They'll go out, bang a bunch of dudes. They don't care if they're Muslim or not, and then they're going to try and get married to a Muslim guy later on. They're going to all of a sudden find God, and then they're going to start wearing hijab and stuff again, most likely in the niqab, so they can hide their face. And they're going to try and get married to a guy, a good beta provider, a Muslim guy, who's going to be restrained by religious rules and regulations, as to where in the past she didn't restrain herself to that. We've seen this. I've met several of these women in London. I've personally been face to face with several of these women, and they're a hot mess. It's impossible to hide. If you studied any sort of red pill, and female behaviors, you can just smell it on them a mile away. Compete. I don't think you have to really worry about competing. If I had really, to be honest, I think if you just, like I said, if you're on your game, I think you're in university and you're studying something like medicine. I think you're in medicine, man. You got it made, bro. Just make sure you stay on your lifting. I know you lifting heavy. You're studying, so you're about to come out. You're gonna be in a good position, dude. You're gonna be in a good position. I don't think you have to worry about it. For you, it's more like, do I want 2 or 3, and which do I want? Chocolate. Do I want this or that? I think you're in a good position, man. You're in Baskin Robbins 48, flavors type realm. You know what I mean? I don't think you have a lot to worry about. Just focus on your studies. Focus on studying Islam. Focus on studying the red flags to look out for these women. I keep saying I'm gonna put out this vetting series, man. It's finished. I just need to put it out. And when it's out, get the vetting series. And I'm gonna do my best to make it clear to people out there, what to look for. These red flags that are very easy to spot in Muslim women, because because even Muslim women have a special type of red flag that you can spot here or there, and they're not actually present on Muslim women. There's one girl who told a Muslim friend of mine that she prefers a man with previous experience, but we can't get experience unless we dip in the haram. It's a red flag. That's something to look out for right there. She wants a man with previous experience. Why? Because she has previous experience herself. She's experienced men who have experience and men who don't have experience. And so she's saying, I want the experienced man. That's already a damaged woman. You know? So right there, man, that's a red flag already. These are the type of behaviors you got to look out for. She's not worth it if a man has a filthy presence, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So, yeah, these are the type of things you got to look out for. But, guys, if you, coming back to the topic, guys, if you get on Twitter and you see Tate on there and you see him doing some dirt, try to have some patience with the guy. You know, he just became. I'm still laughing. I don't know that he's a liar, man. I'm saying, okay, you said he's Muslim, but if you see him out there doing some dirt, give him some doubt. Say, hey, man, Tate, man, you said you became Muslim, bro. Check this out. And don't try and do it in public, man. We know that whether the person, does their thing in public or private, you should advise him in private, unless he's calling publicly for people to go out and do dirt, especially the Muslims. So try and give him some doubt. As for hijab, get yourself a girl with hijab. Get yourself a girl with niqab, if you can. And everything will be great. Not really, but, yeah. Y'all got any questions, whatever, comments, something else I should cover? It ain't really got to be on the topic here. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Hey, this coffee's cold. Can you heat it up for me or something?
Excuse me?
This is cold. Can you heat it up for me, please?
Heat up?
Yeah, it's cold.
You want a new one?
I don't think I need a new one. I can't drink a full cup. That's a big cup, man.
Alright.
Thanks.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Questions, comments, whatever else. Anybody got something for me? Man, coffee make you sweat. What you guys got for me? Because my Twitter people didn't show up. Let me see what's going on Twitter here real quick here. See what these dudes is talking about. 35 new notifications. How am I supposed to go off these dang notifications, man? 35 new notifications. Freaking trigger dudes. Oh God. Now the meme crowd has showed up. Oh God. Oh, look at this mess. Love. Retweet. Oh. Magnus Stout. Jeez. Go away. Whatever. This guy, he's just an Islam hater. Would you please stream on Periscope? Hawass. I don't know. How's it streaming on Periscope, man? I tried it one time, but I was outside and I wasn't really a fan of it. This guy, Muhammad on Twitter, he said something that's very true about women in hijab. I was talking back and forth with this guy in Canada, and I was trying to show him the illogical points he was making in terms of his stance against hijab. And he said that, the women are unapproachable. And I was like, he's like, they won't talk to you, even though they live in Canada. And I was like, what's the obligation to talk to people? I personally, I speak German fluently. I don't go out and talk to people. I talk to the cashier. I stay out of the, I don't want to talk to anybody. So why would she want to talk to you? But anyway, he says in regards to that, of course they're unapproachable. Why do you want to approach them in the first place? Are you one of those guys that still don't get these females are Muslims? So you won't get a date or a one night stand with them? He makes a valid point. Why would she want to talk to you? Why do you want to talk to her? Because biology, not ideology. You want her to be approachable. And the hijab, the niqab, all that stuff, it stands as a barrier to that. It's literally a physical barrier in terms of awkwardness. It makes it awkward to sit there and stand to and talk to her publicly. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't want anybody just running up on my girl. I'm perfectly fine with the fact that she's wearing niqab and dudes would be like, this feels uncomfortable trying to approach this woman. Perfectly fine with me. Why you want to approach my woman in the first place, man? There's a world full of naked ones that are screaming, come approach me. Knock yourself out, dude. There's a comment up here on the YouTubes. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Harris. You planning to do the 21 convention in Poland? I was thinking about going actually, but I decided against it. Huh?
But you don't like being in Poland.
No, I don't want to go to Poland. But at the end of the day, I don't want to go to Poland. There's two reasons why I don't want to go. I wanted to go, and then two reasons. First, I broke up with Becky. Becky got fired. Becky's from Poland. That was the first wife I married. I was married with her for like 4 years, and unfortunately, I had to let Becky go. You know, she had a lot of bad habits that she wouldn't let go of. I had a lot of patience with her, and I was trying to retrain her. And, you know, the Abuamerican re-education camp, you know, failed. So I had to put her on the chopping block, firing squad. You know, she had to go, unfortunately. So that's the first thing. Had I gone to 21 convention, it would have been nice to have a Polish person there who speaks Polish, which would have been Becky. You know, and then second, I'm not really a fan of Ryan Stone, man. I don't like that guy. I can't say I wouldn't kick that guy in his freaking cojones if I showed up, man. I really can't say. And that'd just be a bad look. You know, black guy comes Poland, kicks a guy in their balls. I wouldn't kick him in the balls. I don't dislike him that much. But it's just, I can't imagine a situation where I wouldn't call that guy out, you know. And it would just look bad, you know what I'm saying? I just run up on him and go like, hey, Ryan, what's good, man? And I just like freaking like, I'd just be a total wank. Unnecessarily. Just because. So, I don't think I'm going. The number of hours to fast in Germany this year. Last year was about 18.5. So this year it's got to be close. It's got to be similar. Because we got Fajr coming in almost 4 o'clock. And we've got Maghrib coming close to 8 or 9, 8:30ish, 8:45ish. So it's some hella hours, man. Yeah, anonymous assassin. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I had a lot of patience, man. I had a lot of patience. She was actually a test for me in terms of my patience also. And I actually think I showed that woman too much patience, man. I gave her way too many chances, way too many opportunities to correct herself. And this is why I always tell guys, just get rid of them. Because every time I said that, I used to think about Becky. I'm like, I should just got rid of that woman a long time ago. Sometimes, there's a meme out there that says sometimes you just got to throw the whole hoe away. Sometimes you just gotta throw the whole girl away, man. Sometimes you just gotta start over. And I should have started over with Becky a long time ago. I got some prospects out there significantly better, not only in looks but also in behaviors in terms of Islamic mannerisms. And it's a waste of time and energy, man. Don't waste your time and energy on women because that's what they are. They are time and energy sinks. And if it's not worth it, if the ROI, the return on investment isn't high, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You know what I mean? So don't even waste your time with these chicks. Yeah. Oh, going back to Twitter, see what these guys are talking about on here. There's a lot of various commentations on here, and then this guy, look at this guy, he's posting memes now. Hey, it just tells you, dude, they got conversation points when you start posting Trump memes. Come on, man. It's dudes ain't. Hold on. I'm gonna shoot Magnus here this link, and I'm gonna tell him come on live. Hold on. Where's Magnus here? Magnus. Dude, we are live on this topic. Get in here. Let's see what happens. Let's get Magnus up in here and see what happens. I'm gonna wait for this dude. Oh, now I gotta refresh the page again. Oh God, freaking Twitter. Oh, I see what it is. I got 80 new notifications now. Jeez. Oh gosh. Where's this guy? Oh, there he is. It's got another meme. Yeah, this guy. Okay. What, they banned me or something? I think I'm in Twitter jail, guys. I can't post. Uh-oh. Did they put me in Twitter jail? Or did Magnus block me? All of a sudden his tweets are all gone. Oh, I guess the guy blocked me. Well, see, look at that. The guy blocked me. Because all his, every last one of his tweets are gone. So he must have blocked me. I didn't respond to this guy. Naya. I was about to call him up in here. Well, let's get the Canadian guy in here. Hold on. Let's try to get the Canadian guy in here. Hold on. Where is he? There you go. All right. Let's see if we can get the Canadian guy in here. See what he's got to say. Man, you guys got to stop with these freaking responses, man. I see why people say don't at me. What do we got? What did I miss here? Expecting invitations to the weddings. Rolex, man. No, Anonymous. You in Germany, man? You gonna come to Germany? Come on out, man. Ahlan, bro. Ahlan wa sahlan. You can come to the wedding, man. If there's gonna be one, No, we'll invite you. You're invited. Consider it to be an invitation. Oh, Rolex. You're the Canadian guy? That's you? I just tagged you on Twitter? Really? Nice. Nice. Welcome, Rolex. Okay, that's kind of surprised me, man. Oh, I thought you were the Canadian. I was like, man, how'd you change your standpoint from like this to that all of a sudden? I was like, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Abu Yusuf al-Amriki. Okay, Rolex, man, I was about to say, man, you've been like standing like pretty much on the Muslim side the whole conversation. Now all of a sudden you I was about to say, dude, you're crazy, man. You like a schizo or something, man. You're a bipolar schizo, but no, you're all right, man. Well, I don't know. They're still going at it on Twitter, man. My Twitter freaking feed, my freaking notifications are going crazy here with these dudes. But nobody will come in the live. I made this live so we can come on here and discuss this and throw down, and guys aren't showing up. I hate that, man. I see why Rolo does the call in, and he's like, hey, if you got beef, call in right now, or I'm gonna block you. Because dudes just cowered out, where they can drop their little crap posts here, and then try and block you and disappear like Magnus did. What you got there?
Oh no, your comments from me.
Okay. And then and then they're gonna disappear and they're not gonna come on the live. These dudes, man, they're too much. Yeah, we are friends on Facebook and in a Red Pill group. My name there is Bilal Abdullah, which is my real name, written in Arabic letters. I'm loving the talks, man. Good stuff. Thanks, man. I need to get back to making some content. I've been focusing on my business, man. I got a whole bunch of stuff going on, man. I got all these things. I'm selling this stuff by the case, though, man. I got a whole stack of this stuff over here, man. It just takes a whole bunch of time, getting all this stuff listed and sold and whatever else, man. This is a pain in the rear, bro. Give you a headache. Yeah. But anywho, what we got? As the Canadian. I just call him the Canadian because I don't remember his name. What's his name? Hold on. The Canadian I am speaking about. His name. Where is he? Nah, this guy on Twitter. He's a Canadian guy on Twitter.
It's different from the YouTube.
Yeah, it's a different YouTube. It's a different guy. There's a bunch of people from Canada, man. What you? Jimmy Digriz. What the hell kind of name is that? Anyway, that's the guy on Twitter from Canada who seems to have a problem that he can't approach Muslim women because they're wearing Niqaab and Hijab and whatever else. So I'm just like, get in here, man. Let's see what happens if we get him in here. Yeah, just the time to make more content, man. I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning every day. I go to work, whatever. I come back, I'm tired, man. I ain't trying to look at the camera. I'm not. Then I'm trying to mess with my stuff over here. Like I said, I got all this barbershop stuff. And just finding the reliable salespeople and whatnot. It just cuts into your time, man. And getting this money is the priority. Anywho. Who's got something for me, man? Who's got questions, comments, whatever else? We got anything else here? How long we been doing this here? 1 hour straight. We'll leave it open for a little while. If nothing else pops up, then we'll shut this puppy down. Yeah. Then got to be a Muslim. I don't think he's Muslim, man. That's my humble opinion. I mean, when I'm looking at his comments and whatnot, I don't get the Muslim air out of him. Anyway, guys, in regards to Tate, let's go back to that. Anybody who is in a position like Tate and he calls himself Muslim, he says he accepted Islam, give him some dollar, man. You see him out there doing some dirt or whatnot, just say, hey, Tate, man, did you know, in Islam we don't do like this or we don't do like that, and just holler at him, and hopefully, inshallah, he's sincere. I hope he is, man. Because Islam is good stuff, man. Best thing that ever happened to me in my life, it really is. I've made a whole slew of mistakes. I can tell you mistake after mistake. Sometimes I'm sitting back and I'm like, did I ever make the right decision? But I never had that feeling about Islam. Never had that feeling. But like a lot of stuff, I was like, I wonder if I should have actually studied, English or this or that, or if I should have actually done like this. Should I have turned left instead of right back there? I can do that for my entire life, but Islam is not something that I ever had for a doubt. For 1 second, I ever thought like this was a mistake. This is an accident. This is something I shouldn't have done. So, I hope he's sincere, and I hope he gains that feeling. Hey, excuse me.
Yeah?
Excuse me, miss over there?
Yes.
Hey, that thing makes a bunch of noise and I'm like live here, right? You know that, right?
I want to cook.
Oh, okay. That curtain, yeah, although it's pretty, it's not going to save us with sound. All right, can you stop shaking the curtain?
All right.
Thank you very much. Contact is not found in your address book. So Rolex says, I don't know, it's off topic. I just finished my my bachelor's undergrad. I'm looking for work and not limiting my options to Canada, USA. How's the job market in Germany? Job market in Germany is crazy right now, man. They're looking for people like mad. They actually have a manpower shortage. Since I've gotten to Germany, I've only been in supervisory positions. This is the first job I'm in that I'm not in a supervisory position, although I do have my own department. Nobody works with me. The entire department is mine. And we can never keep enough people. You never get enough people. There's never enough people coming through the door. So, I mean, the situation in Germany right now, and we're talking about trained people. We're talking about educated people. We're not talking about just like, just warm bodies to come in and move stuff around. We're talking about educated people, trained people, untrained people. They just can't get enough of them. So, the market in Germany right now is very good. It's in a serious boom time, and they're actually lacking the manpower to fill positions. For electrical engineering, new graduates literally came home less than 10 days ago. Again, give you an example. One of the companies I used to work for, Hudak. Look them up online. Hydac, I think it would be spelled Hyadac. Very big company, pays outstanding money. They're always looking for engineers, man. They're into hydraulics. They make robotics, electronics and hydraulics, So even if you're not a hydraulic engineer, electronics, they have enough electronics on there that they need engineers. And they're just booming, and they pay ridiculous money. I mean, it's not even like reasonable. They pay stupid money. Muhammad says, Salam, walaikum assalam. Do you plan on moving out of the West since it's not conducive for Islam? Absolutely. I'm only here for my kids. Once my kids are grown up, I'm trying to get out of here. We're looking at a place in Turkey. I'm not going to talk about it, but it is on the Mediterranean. And, we've taken steps to finding properties out there, although, it's on hold for right now. We're definitely looking at getting out of here. It's not the place to be. So, in terms of practicing Islam, it's just not a place to be in terms of like in life in general. The West is falling apart, man. It's falling apart. And it's all because of this intergender dynamic problem that's going on with unchecked hypergamy, gynocentrism, and everything. It's tearing society apart at the seams because it's tearing men and women apart. And you can't have society that's going to be successful and it's not going to be chaotic if men and women are having such problems between one another. It's like the rules have completely just been broken. And so I would just say in general, Tate talks about it all the time too, why he's gone out to Romania. He's like, you don't have the problems out there that you have out here in the West, And all of these problems are stemming one way or another from unchecked hypergamy and the way society is going in terms of gynocentrism. Absolutely, man. I'm not trying to stay out here, dude. I'm Arabic, olive skin, super short hair, buzz beard. Interview probably most likely fit the profile. Who doesn't fit the profile nowadays, man? Come on, bro. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. I've spent my entire life staying out of trouble, at least getting caught. Let me say that. I haven't been caught for any of the dirt I've done. Never. Nevertheless, I'm on the no-fly list. Why? I mean, I've never done any dirt since I become a Muslim. Nothing significant, nothing real. So why am I on the no-fly list? I've flown under the radar, kept my nose clean, and I landed up on the no-fly list. Bro, no matter what, you're not going to escape it. It is what it is. If you just openly say you're Muslim, they see you praying one day. They even suspect that your beard is just a little bit too long, your skin's a little bit too brown. That's it. Khalas, man. You're not going to get around it. So why care? You know what I mean? Don't even care anymore. Be good at what you do. That's all you got to worry about. Be good at what you do. Look, like I said, since I've been in Germany, I've been in only supervisory positions. My German is fluent, but it's not perfect. But I'm fluent. So understand that. Grammatically, I make probably quite a few mistakes in the German language when speaking it. Nevertheless, I've landed my own department in a very big engineering corporation. I've always been in a supervisory position in Germany. How is that possible? Because I'm good at what I do. So because I'm good at what I do, a black guy in white Germany who speaks imperfect German, both written and spoken, has landed in supervisory positions back to back, and now I have my own department. Be good at what you do, man. The rest will fall into place. Because you're paid for what you do, unless you're a politician. Then you got to worry about everybody liking you, man. But if not, screw it, man. Germans respect what you do and how you do it more than anything else. You come into work on time, you do your job properly, and dudes are going to give you a load of respect, even if they don't like you. And that's one thing I like about Germany. They'll openly show you they don't like you, but if you do your job, you get your basic respect. Dudes aren't going to talk to you. They're not going to say good morning to you. They're not going to sit at the table with you and eat lunch and smile and talk about the kids or, their pet dog and their hunting trip on the weekend. But I don't want to do that anyway. So I wouldn't worry about it, man. That's my humble opinion. And that's anywhere. That's not just Germany, bro. Maybe not everybody's going to respect you for the job you do, but then that's their loss. Find something else. Value yourself. Okay, I'm not going to get my proper respects because of my religion, because of my color, whatever else. I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to take my expertise. I'm going to take my proness with me. I'm going to take my elite skills elsewhere. And whose loss is it going to be? It's going to be theirs, not yours. Just see it like that. Just like a woman. She give you a hard time. She's not going to live up to standards. Go get you another one. Get you a better one. One who's going to live up to the way that you want to live. It's the same thing, man. A non-scarcity mindset in everything you do. From these jobs, to these women, to whatever else, man. Social interactions with people. It's their loss when you step. It's not yours. Yeah. All right. Well, let me see if Homeboy responded. He ain't gonna. Oh, notifications. Is he coming? He ain't coming. These dudes, man, they're a bunch of cowards, man. He probably lurking, like watching and not commenting. I bet you lurking here, aren't you, Mr. What was your name? Jizz? Astaghfirullah. Whatever his name is. Nah. Well, I'm all out, guys. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. Anybody got anything else? Whole speak now, forever hold your peace type thing. Nah, I didn't. Well, guys, I thank you for watching. And hopefully next time we get some of these contentious individuals in here, we can have a go at them, and whatnot. Rolex Maximus, he says, you seen the Nabil wife material list? Yeah, I saw that, man. It was pretty good stuff except for that selfie part, I wasn't really too hot on that selfie part. Hold on, let me read the list to you. Hold on. Because he got an awesome response off of that. I think he triggered the ish out of people, and now the tweet's gone. Really? No. He ain't delete that, did he? Let me check. Hold on. Let me check. I'm gonna look for this tweet. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. I'm gonna look for this tweet. I hope he didn't delete it. looks like it's gone. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh no, wait. I can't scroll down his feed far enough. Why am I going so slow here? Oh, I'm on a slow net connection. Let me change the cable. Anyway, Nabil, this guy Nabil Aziz, he made a tweet, how to be a good Muslim wife. And he put a bunch of stuff on there like, pray your 5 daily prayers on time, wear hijab. What else did he say? What's with my thing now? Now it's frozen. What else did he say? Be thin. He said don't be a Salafi. I don't agree with that point. He said a bunch of other stuff, and he just completely triggered Muslim Twitter. You know, there was a complete Muslim Twitter meltdown, and for the most part, the list, there was nothing wrong with the list, really. I mean, it's what most. I think his Be a Virgin was on there. You know. Muhammad, I don't know why he would delete it. I'm surprised. That's not really his way that he would delete it. I find that odd. Rolex says it had 100 replies at one point, reading through, then the next day it had 1,000. Yeah, he really triggered a lot of people with that. That was a good one, man. I gotta give him props on that. Yeah, I can't scroll down further on his thing. No, I can't. Anonymous Assassin said, I'd be surprised if he really means what he proclaims. A clownish businessman, after all. Yeah, that's the thing. You never know. This is the problem with the internet nowadays. You never know when people are trolling or not. You don't know if they're like joking, if they're serious. It's just a real problem. And when you joke too much, that's a problem because people don't know if you're serious or not anymore. And he jokes a lot. He trolls a lot. And so now you're like, wait, is it serious? You make a valid point. He's ignorant about the Salafi point. I agree 100%. But someone told me that he's a Sururi, so it makes sense. If he follows Sururiya, of course he's gonna hate Salafis. So absolutely. Yeah, don't be a feminist. That was one of them. Be thin, pray 5 times a day, virgin, know how to cook. Yeah, basic stuff that all these triggered women are gonna do anyway. Because most of these triggered women, at the end of the day, when they get married, a lot of them are like ethnic Muslims. They were born into Muslim families. They're going to do all that stuff anyway because that's their culture. Like I was saying earlier in the video, the vast majority of our Muslim women have been just basically culturally trained to respond and behave in a particular way their entire lives. And they're going to do that. It's just a simple fact. They know they're going to do it. So I don't know why they're acting triggered anyway. It's just goofy. Yeah, I agree with most of it anyway. I'm spoiled now, man. I'm not accepting less, Any girl come through the door now, and she's got some big shoes to step into. I'm like, look, man, this is the standard, and you got to follow it. Like it or leave it. Nah, yeah, his feed is just stuck. It's just like literally spinning, and I can't go down on his feed past like a day or so, and I don't know why. Which is interesting. Huh. Yeah, no, he deleted it. Nah, he deleted that post. It's gone. Because now that I'm looking, that was from 7th October. Where it's spinning. So, and he deleted. That was just like, yesterday, 2 days ago when he posted that? Unfortunate. It was good stuff. He got a lot of what do you call it? Interaction off that tweet. It's good to get, and I say it's good because it gives you a good idea of where the Twitter demographic of Islam and the Muslims are at in their mentality when you see how they respond to certain tweets that really shouldn't be overly controversial. That wasn't really. Someone was calling me right in the middle of a video. Okay. And it shouldn't have been very controversial, but it was for some reason. So, yeah. Give me a second. Yeah, so, anywho, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to put a period on this and close it down. Oh, dang. Hold on, Guy King was like, send me a link to join. You know what, GK, if you're still here, man, I don't know how to like do a whatchamacallit, an invitation from the phone when you're doing a live. I've never had it work. I'd love to have you on, man. It's like really annoying that I can't do it from my phone. I'll figure it out. I'm gonna figure out a way to run my camera as my computer. So basically, the live's running off my computer, but my phone is the camera because I don't want anything facing this way because I got like a temporary warehouse set up here with all my products and goods that are going out to to my clients and customers. And you guys can't be seeing all that junk. You just look crazy. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next live. This is your man Abuamerican. Catch me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all at Abuamerican. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm out.